A very good afternoon from the Perth Hockey Stadium. It's semi-finals time in the Women's Premier 1 grade. And first up today, we're seeing Victoria Parker with the minor premiers taking on Melville. The two best defences in the competition going head-to-head, and it should be an absolute cracker. Well, I'm pleased to say we caught up with a couple of the players in the week leading into this game. And first we're going to hear from the goalkeeper of Victoria Park, Alicia Power. And then followed, we will hear from one of the players looking to beat her, currently Melville's top goal scorer, Naomi Evans. Well, Alicia, you made the switch to Victoria Park from Curtin this season, and they missed out on finals. You're in the finals now. Must be really looking forward to it.
Yeah, no, I'm really excited. Finals is always an awesome time. Finals are a different game, so I'm really excited to play.
And what's the feeling amongst Vic Park? I mean, they made them last year but bowed out of the first game. Are they a little bit more prepared this time around?
Yeah, I think we're just trying to take a real professional approach and cover off every nook and cranny we can before finals. Obviously, finals are a different game. It doesn't matter how well you've done in the season. It comes down to just that game and whoever performs better. So we'll just been working on what we can do to clean up our game and hopefully come out with a win.
And have you got over the fact that the unbeaten season didn't happen? Obviously disappointing to lose against Wolves and then your last game against Wasps.
I think it's important that we lost because, you know, we need to know what we do wrong when we lose, if that makes sense, to be a better team. And there's nothing worse than getting to the finals and not having that feeling of losing or playing bad, so you can work on it, if that makes sense. So it's kind of good we lost so we can use that in the final series to hopefully play our best game.
You had a couple of players out injured in that last game. Harriet Collins was out and also Jane Claxton. Any chance of them being fit for the finals?
I think Harriet definitely. Jane's still a huge question mark. But, you know, if she can get back, that'd be great. If not, there's no pressure. I feel like we have a good enough team to play without her.
Now, it's the best two defences in the league coming up against each other in this game. Does that mean there's not going to be many goals, or do you think there will be?
I mean, again, finals are a different game, so it really depends on the game. Like, I've played a final where I've let in 4, I've played a final where I've let in none, so it just depends on the game and how well we play and how well each defensive unit works together to keep the ball out of the net.
Well, thanks for catching up with us, and we wish you all the best.
Awesome, thank you so much.
Well, Naomi, Melville stunned many with their form this season, finishing second on the ladder. I mean, what do you put the turnaround in form this season down to?
I think we've just built on each game. We've had a pretty solid group for the last couple of years, but this year it's just kind of seemed to click and everyone's a bit older, a bit more experienced, and I guess we're just enjoying playing hockey together.
Well, second highest scorers and the second best defence. It looks like you've really put it together across the whole park now.
Yeah, I'd say our defence has been really strong compared to previous years. We've got a really good spine. We're building connections through the field, which is something we probably haven't achieved over previous years. But so linking through defence to midfield to strikers has been a real improvement.
Victoria Park have been the team to beat all season. I mean, they've got the highest amount of goals. They've also got the best defence, so it should be a real battle. But do you focus on their game, or do you just try and do what you're good at and focus on your own game?
I think you obviously notice that they're a good team and they have earned that throughout the whole season, but our focus is on our game. We're trying to work on a 70-minute game, and I think if we can do that, we'll have a real good chance.
Now, you've won a championship before in the UK with Surbiton. I mean, how many players in the team have actually been in that position, and are they having to lean on you for that knowledge?
No, I think we've had some tough games, and everyone's kind of been in a tough game experience, but there hasn't been too many of us that have been in the finals. Like, this is our first year in finals since, I think, in 6 years, which I think everyone's just really excited about having that opportunity, as it obviously doesn't come around very often. So I think we'll go into it with excitement, but there is a lot of girls that have level heads out there, and I think we'll be fine.
A little bit of nerves too?
I think it's always good to have a bit of nerves, but I think it's more excitement. Like, we can control those nerves.
Well, Naomi, we thank you for joining us and we wish you all the very best.
Thank you very much.
Well, that was Alicia Power and Naomi Evans talking about the upcoming game, the first semi-final in the Women's Premier 1 grade. And we turn our attention now to the team lineups and the players to look out for. The core players, just a reminder, those are the players around which the squad is based. And it's great news for Vic Park. Harriet Collins, who was the leading goal scorer until she injured her hamstring, is back in the starting lineup. Unfortunately, no Jane Claxton for Victoria Park, but they've still got Ruth Brooke, who can also score goals for them. And Katie Clark has been in a rich vein of form as well. Georgia Wilson will be the sole hockey-roo as Jane Claxton is out injured. I'm actually correct myself there because Carrie Somerville is also a hockey-roo wearing number 30, and she'll be dangerous from penalty corners. And also look out for Amberley Abbott, who's also been in amongst the goals since returning from injury. Turning our attention to Melville, and Jocelyn Bartram is going to be a key for them, keeping the Vic Park team at bay and not allowing them to score. Look out for the pace of Nisa Flynn, who scored one of the most memorable goals this season. Edwina Bone is one of their hockey-roos, and she is obviously, again, a very experienced player. Renee Taylor will be important as well, another hockey-roo from penalty corners. But Jade van der Zwan will be important going into attack. And look out for the fresh face of Seisha Pillay, who's really impressed me when we've seen her in action before. Well, Victoria Park are coached by Phil Hulbert, and Tilly Carmichael is the coach of Melville, although we believe that she's probably not here because they wouldn't release her from a cricket commitment. So very disappointing. First game of the season, and they wouldn't let her go. So she's being replaced. We'll maybe find out who is taking the reins there. Our umpires for this game are Kimberly Todd. And, well, she is a New Zealander, but she may as well be a Western Australia. And I believe that her mum and dad are watching in Auckland. That's Judy and Keith, and their daughter Tracy Fowley will be umpiring today. This should be an absolute cracker. As we heard from Alicia Power, the only loss... In fact, no, sorry, I'm correcting myself. They only one loss in the season to initially Vic Park had two losses to Wolves and to Wasps, and just one draw with Vic Park. Melville, well, they again only had just the one draw and two losses, so they had a good season as well. But the goals were certainly scored in the main by Victoria Park. They scored them from all over. And Katie Clark was just pipped for the leading goal scorer of the season by Penny Squibb, who got a hat-trick in the last game. Katie Clark with 12 goals, Penny Squibb with 13. So it'll be Vic Park in the black against the maroon of Melville. Neither of these teams have won a premiership, so both would be very keen to get through to the grand final. And it is Vic Park get us underway. Wilson gets a nice early touch, goes wide to Somerville. Ball now comes to Emma Reid. A little bit of space for her to move forward in, closing down immediately Ruth Brooke. And you would sense that Melville know that she is a dangerous player. Lovely turn and trying to get around the back. That was Harriet Collins. Good early touch for her. As I say, she got injured in a game with a hamstring when she was the leading scorer in the competition, and this is her first game back. They are without Jane Claxton, who's injured an ankle, and I was told that if they go straight through to the grand final, she may well be available for that game. Certainly saw her training the other day. The moon boot was off. So Bryony Clark plays it forward. It ricochets up into the body of Nisa Flynn. So Hannah Nalder takes a touch, plays it forward. Brooke up in the air, it went off her stick. Wry smile on her face. She knew that that was a fair call from the umpire. It was off the stick of Brooke and over the side. Into the defensive line, Erin Hall goes to Eddie Bone, ricochets over the side, off the stick of Kayla O'Sullivan, so it'll be again Melville ball. Bone takes a touch, advances, square with the circle. Somerville, though, gets the free hit. Now these two, since 2017, played each other 7 times. Victoria Park have won 8. There have been 2 draws, and Melville have won 1 as Van der Swan dispossessed by Rachel Frusher. And Down the line it goes, nobody in that space, but it gives Vic Park the chance now to have a high press and keep Melville in their final third. Harriet Collins directing traffic straight away as soon as she hit that pass forward, was telling everybody to get forward and make it tight. And it's played straight into her stick and then into her toe of her shoe. Back to Eddie Bone, who was put under pressure again by O'Sullivan. Given away. Here's Brooke now. A chance for her to run at the defence. She gets past one, evades the second challenge. And it's gone up again off the Vic Park stick, I think. Carrie Somerville gets the free hit and takes it quickly, and it opens up in front of it. Looks to play it square now. Wilson just lost it at the top of the circle. Looks to regain possession, but didn't manage to do so, and it's now pushed into space, but Vic Park gain it again on the halfway line. Michelle Harvey now. That's a good block. Stick was nice and low, and good skills in the end coming from Amy Clark. Amy Clark, the younger of the two Clark sisters, playing for Melville today. Bryony wearing 19, the older of the two. Trying to turn and just pull away as Kim Hocking keeps the ball. Well, she kept it in play for a moment and then it just dribbled over the line under pressure from Rachel Frusher. Good pass forward again, Katie Clark. And Harriet Collins was just basically impeded there by Tara Porter. No whistle, and Eddie Bone just getting her angles wrong. It goes over the side. It's almost 5 minutes gone. Neither team has tested either goalkeeper as yet. Vic Park from the side. Good touch coming that time from Renee Rockcliffe. Rockcliffe pushes the ball wide. Brooke is down the line, and Brooke now turns to try and find a way into the circle. Does well, has come all the way through. Brooke continuing to go, and a penalty corner won by her. Well, it seemed as if it was impossible for her to get inside the circle, but somehow she did. And now it's the first penalty corner of the match. And Victoria Park, 11 penalty corners so far this season. Renee Rockcliffe makes her way down to the baseline. Carrie Somerville waits at the top of the circle. Rachel Frusher alongside her. Wilson just shifts, and it's going to be Russ Brooke. Good save. Well, Bartram getting down low and putting that one round the post, so a long corner. Wilson again takes it quickly. Immediately back on the attack and cross the face of goal. A great chance, and that's a penalty stroke. There's no doubt about that. Caught the foot as it was arrowing in. Joe Sneyman could do very little about that. So penalty stroke to Victoria Park and a chance for them to open the scoring. And 5 minutes have gone now. So Georgia Wilson just talking to Carrie Somerville. I think clearly just telling her where Jocelyn Bartram likes to head, although Carrie Somerville, of course, is part of the Hockey Rouge squad as well. Umpires just conferring. Oh, and a penalty corner's been given. Well, I must admit I thought that was a fair call for a penalty stroke. So obviously something else was seen, because it certainly looked to me as if the shot was going in to the goal when it struck the foot of the last defender. Whether Bartram was behind her, well, that would be a big call. So now it's Somerville at the first battery, Frusher at the second. It comes to Frusher, and it's a good block by the first runner coming out. That was Renee Taylor. But it's a free hit to Victoria Park just outside the circle. Defenders must be, of course, 5 metres. Wilson takes it and must travel 5 metres, or the ball must travel 5. Michelle Harvey, that was swept away by Edwina Bone. Wilson again. Takes it the required distance. Calling for the ball behind her was Haslaham, who was put under pressure by Van der Zwan. Haslaham goes back to Rachel Frusher. Chance to come forward. Renee Taylor now closed down. Looks to go through what seemed to be a dead end, but she's done well to win the free hit. Throws her protective gear from the penalty corner over to the side. Coming forward now for Melville's Gemma Green. And another foul committed, and Rachel Frusher just reverses without headlights into Green. And that is wasted opportunity. It's taken them a while to get forward, and Erin Hall trying to play the ball across the park, but not able to find Tara Porter, and over the side it went. So now Vic Park get the chance to go on yet another attack. Wilson surging forward. Well, was she impeded? The umpire says she was. Amy Clark just catching it. So free hit to Wilson. A lot of responsibility on her shoulders in the midfield today. Naomi Evans, a ball into the circle, blocked again. Melville looking to come forward. Not many bodies forward for them though. Nisa Flynn tried to play it, was blocked. Reed got the ball, and Wilson again. Happy to go back to Frusher. Lineker now. Reed has stolen it back, and there's a chance now to come forward for Katie Clark. Clark drills it, takes a slight defection. The two defenders collide. Comes back to Clark again. Melville have got more numbers back now, and Bone just over the baseline it goes. So it will be a long corner. Lineker short to Wilson, gets the pass back. Down the line she goes to Clark. Clark looks to just knock it past the first defender. Bone was ready to pounce as soon as she did, and throws it into the air, and onto the dugout it goes, the tech bench and the other dugout. Well, she couldn't do that if she tried. Ball just skipping off all 3 dugouts down below us. Almost should have had the Dam Busters theme tune. Almost running in there to the circle, but just stopped on the edge was Renee Rockcliffe. Melville under a lot of pressure at the moment, but they're holding firm. Gone past the halfway stage of the first quarter. Of course, the winner of this match will go straight through to the grand final. The loser will be back next week and have a second chance against the winner of the game coming up after this, which is Hale against Westside Wolves, a repeat of last year's grand final. Good pass from Somerville. Really good to pick out Amberley Abbott. Abbott holding the ball up well. Wasn't put under a great deal of pressure, but the ball down the line, just dribbling over the side with the camber of the pitch. And sees possession go back to Melville. It's been cagey, although Vic Park have dominated. As I mentioned, both these two teams, the best defences in the competition this season. Vic Park conceded just 14 goals in their 13 games, and Melville just 16 in their 13. Michelle Harvey. There's a good touch there coming from Wardrop. Frusher though, finds Wilson. Harvey now, a little bit of space, chased by Van der Zwan. Van der Zwan, it caught her foot. Harvey leaves the free hit to a captain, short to Somerville. Van der Zwan again looks to close down. Stolen away. Good break forward now coming from Nisa Flynn, and Flynn impeded by Somerville. Not happy about it, gets to her feet. Soccer's gone right down, the shin pad exposed. Played forward again. Collected well by Naomi Evans under a little bit of pressure. Evans tries to turn. Frusher steals it superbly. Evans now applies the pressure, caught the stick. Frusher got ahead of her, but stolen back again by Nisa Flynn. And Flynn's on the turf once more, but this time the free hit goes the way of Vic Park. You cannot question the commitment in the start of this match. Phil Hulbert just on the sideline. There's not much he hasn't won in the local game. So he's been a great addition to the coaching staff of this team. And taken quickly into the circle. Really good block coming out by Somerville. And now that block has turned into an attack, a good attack for Vic Park as Brooke looks up. Reverse stick across the circle it goes, but unfortunately split the two players inside the circle for Vic Park. There was Amy Clark and, sorry, not Amy Clark, it was Kayla O'Sullivan and Amberley Abbott that were well forward. May Taylor now advances, bit of space for her to run at Somerville. Somerville, though, just reached out. She's got very long arms. Harriet Collins now comes off from the side. Good pass to Katie Clark. Clark cuts infield, being pursued by Taylor. Kept in play now by Collins. Collins, over the side it goes. A nice little jab tackle. Clark drills it across the circle. Great pass to Brooke. And a brilliant save by Bartram. Now Bartram was really alert. Came off her line superbly to close that down. Incredible Jocelyn Bartram, who only ended up as a goalkeeper because she had a growth spurt and was told that she couldn't run because obviously it was putting a lot of pressure on her joints. So she went in goal and hasn't looked back since. Now has 51 caps for the Hockeyroos. And she's hoping maybe a grand final in 2020. Good steal defensively by Hannah Nalder. Nalder then carries it up to the 23 metres, but won back again by Melville. Pulling away is Evans. Evans drills it across the face of goal, but there was nobody there for Melville. Into the final 2 minutes now of the first quarter. Melville slowly coming more and more into the game. Renee Taylor tries a shot, was blocked. Top of the circle. He's going to dribble over the side. Off the stick of Hannah Nalder. So there's still time for another attack from Melville, who are in a good position. They're going to cut him from the side. Free hit taken. Well, good block again. There's some great tackles and some good blocks going in. It's Somerville now, taking the ball away from Evans. Evans not leaving her alone, though. This time it just goes off the stick of Wardrop over the side, so Vic Park can breathe a little easier. Somerville throws it to the air, missed by Bone and missed by Katie Clark. Coming back desperately quickly is Erin Hall. Hall gets it away. Reed may get there. In fact, no, it's a good recovery. It's Wardrop that got back. Collision in the middle of the field there with Bryony Clark. She gets the free hit, smashes that forward, but nobody again in that line of fire. Oh, well done, Erin Hall. It looked very dangerous for a moment for Melville at the back. Somerville looking for Wilson and found her, but it's kept in play and just taken out of play that time by Bryony Clark. Wilson looking to hurry up as the clock is their enemy at the moment in this quarter. She takes it back into her own half and may well just kill the clock now in this first quarter. Wilson beats two, gets the free hit, and that will be the final play of the quarter. Wilson immediately just turns and walks towards the bench. And so that is the end of the first quarter. And it's no goals as yet. It is Victoria Park 0, Melville City 0. Welcome back to the Perth Hockey Stadium. The players breaking up to go out for the second quarter. No goals in the first quarter. Question mark whether the penalty stroke that was awarded should have stood. It wasn't. A penalty corner was given to Victoria Park and they failed to convert that. So Melville may feel they got away with that one. But still 3 quarters to go. And it will be Vic Park to get the second underway. Slight variation this time, going to Somerville. Normally go straight back to Wilson, and it's gone off the stick of Collins, much to her own frustration, because she made a good run in off the right-hand side into space, and had she collected it, would have had a really good run towards goal. Ooh, deflected up, unfortunately, into Wardrop. Hopefully she's okay. Melville just need to be a little bit more miserly when they have possession. Just giving it away a little bit too easily. Brooke determined to get that one. Brooke driving forward again into the circle. Cuts infield, does well. Brilliant tackle. Still it comes to Vic Park inside the circle, trying to get the shot away. Back it goes to Collins now. Collins feeds it across the face of goal and it missed everybody. Brooke now gets out there quickly, collects it for Vic Park. Looked to drill it, changed her mind. Found the foot of Pillay, and so it will be a free hit to Victoria Park. Inside the 23 metres, played out wide by Wilson. Nalder now into the circle she goes. And finds a foot, and it will be a third penalty corner for Victoria Park. There was some good movement there from Victoria Park, and just feel that their confidence when they're looking good, they look very, very good. Averaged in the season over 3 goals a game. Renee Rockcliffe again makes her way to the baseline. Frusher at the first battery, Somerville at the second. They go to Rachel Frusher, pushes it to Somerville. Somerville flicks, up it goes. On the outside, it was a good deflection. I think it was off the stick of Eddie Bone. So it'll be a long corner. And we've got 2 bulls on the pitch, and poor person just coming on and taking that one away. So Wilson goes square. Nalder drills that, but hit it into the turf, and it bounced up above knee height, so made it danger with so many players in that vicinity. That one just again, just getting away from Tara Porter. Just kicked off the turf. Carried forward by Renee Rockcliffe. A good pass from her, managing to release Kayla O'Sullivan. O'Sullivan just lost it for a second. And Bone has been given the free hit. Just for a second I wasn't sure that she had. So Somerville brings it forward now. Frusher. Very difficult ball for Reed, and it bobbled past her. A lot of the players of yesteryear, including probably her father, who were brought up playing on grass, and so you had to learn to play with the stick vertically. A lot of the players now on the synthetic turf are so used to using it horizontally to trap a ball. A lovely steal by Pillay. Short little pass from her. Pillay will collect again. And a good pass once more. And this is dangerous as Taylor gets it. But she just dinked the ball behind her. Caught her own heel. Just a glimpse there of what Seisha Pillay can do. The youngest of 2 Pillay sisters. Shea is her older sister. Katie Clark now looking to get forward. She gets past one challenge, coming across and poked over the sideline. Bryony Clark. But we're coming back, I think, for the free hit and the stick check. Hasselham closed down immediately. Wins another free hit, though, from the challenge from Evans. Evans waiting to come forward again. Hasselham. Evans just poked that one, and it got all the way back, though, to Frusher. Pillay in close attendance. And Evans got a touch, but over the side it goes. Hasselham with the ball from the side now for Victoria Park. And that caught the foot of Katie Clark. Should mention Katie Clark, we all know, is actually pregnant at the moment, so remarkable that she's still out there playing and competing. As I say, just pipped for the top goal scorer award, just by 1 goal. And now there's a chance again as Taylor has stolen possession for Melville. Pillay coming through the middle. Taylor looking to go on her own. Taylor tries the shot, and it's a long corner. Good defensive work coming back by Georgia Wilson. Wilson getting the deflection that took it out over the baseline. Just at a time where it looked like Alicia Power was going to be called into action for the first time. It's broken nicely for Melville. Power comes out, kicks it. Was lifted into the air and almost brought down brilliantly by Hocking. Brooke loves to dribble. Given away again, straight to Taylor. The free hit from Nalder. Ball played down the line, and Hocking along the baseline she goes, and Somerville collects, spins to get it out of the circle. It's a good pass in the end, and the foul coming in from Taylor on Renee Rockcliffe. So nothing to do in the first quarter. Alicia Power called into action. Good work again by Naomi Evans, just causing Hasselham to readjust and then miss the ball down below us. Sneyman has just fired that one straight at Harriet Collins. Collins, well, she's managed to get through 2 players. There was a question whether that did just momentarily go over the line. Reed has intercepted well. Collins, nice little pass from her to Katie Clark. Wilson now comes back out to Hasselham, and Van der Swan just plays it over the side. So certainly Melville coming more and more into this game. Wilson. Good work again by Renee Rockcliffe this time. She's into the circle, got the pass away. Miss-hit clearance that time coming from Tara Porter. It's got it outside the circle, and now the free hit has gone the way of Melville. A lot of people were surprised by the form of Melville this season, but as Naomi Evans said pre-match, a lot of the players have been together for a while now, and they're just beginning to gel. And that was what their coach Matilda Carmichael said to me in the week, although I think she's probably not giving herself any credit for the way she's moulded them into a team this year. Into the circle they come now, trying to play the ball square, but unfortunately nobody there. Will it be kept in play? Yes, it will. Good work coming from Nisa Flynn. Flynn looks to play on, runs directly. And that was again a very brave tackle by Carrie Somerville. And the ball into the circle from Amy Clark. Nobody was really there to get the deflection. So Vic Park, though, you just feel they're creating opportunities going forward. They got to take them, because at some point you just have that feeling Melville maybe not having as much of the attack, but they are in games like this just as likely to score, so you need to get on the scoreboard first. Eddie Bone using her experience well. And Good work in the end coming from Amy Clark. Looked as if she had nowhere to go. Van der Swan. Into the circle it goes. It broke almost kindly. And then it was good response to clear it in the end from Victoria Park. Wilson. Down the line it goes again. Wilson in support from Reed. That'll be taken away. That was well anticipated by Naomi Evans. Looking to feed it forward into the path of Nisa Flint. Fruscia's going to let that one run, and was lucky it didn't hit the corner flag. So it's going to be 16 though. Slaham plays it down the line, and it will go out just on the 23-metre line. Crosses the sideline. Eddie Bone as Harriet Collins looks to close her down, comes back out to the flank to Bryony Clark. Carried forward, but just ran out of space, unfortunately, there. Shanae Wardrop. Shanae Wardrop, who was originally with Peel and then moved to Melville. Rockcliffe now being chased by Wardrop. Rockcliffe goes square to Emma Reed. Reed's got a little bit of space there. Now goes into the corner, looking to try and get along the baseline. Good tackle coming in that time from Amy Clark. Free hit though, just outside the circle. Must go the 5 metres. Does. Good tackle coming in to take it away from Amberley Abbott. Evans again looking to try and start a counter-attack for Melville. And the overhead pass didn't come off, but it's managed to get to Wardrop, whose pass down the line has gone straight back to Vic Park, and here they come again. Rose Brooke gets past one, being chased by the second, and Eddie Bone concedes the foot just outside the circle, and I would have to say that I think that was almost deliberate. I don't think you can have almost deliberate. I would say it was deliberate. Player of Eddie Bone's quality. I think she knew exactly what she was doing there. Pillay with a good block, but didn't manage to gain possession. Van der Swan has done very well to gain possession, being chased by Somerville. Changes direction well. Pillay is in support. Goes to Pillay, but that's too far ahead of her. I should just say that Sasha Pillay is only 16, so still growing into her body and adapting to the pace. Plenty of skill. Taylor thwarted by Harriet Collins. The determination showing for Collins being back. Was part of the Diamond squad before. Been at the club now for 7 years. Harriet Collins. Bone has to first time that under pressure from Brooke. Wardrop lets that one go to Evans. Was looking for the pass from Evans, but it just lacked the pace and strength to find her. Approaching the final 2 minutes of the first half. Still no goals as that catches the foot of Rose Brooke. Comes square now to Porter. Porter going to be closed down from behind by Collins. Didn't hear her coming. Good pass now to Reed. Reed looking for options. Not too many, but she's found Brooke with a brilliant pass. Brooke looking to cut back infield, but that is a very, very good tackle. Great defensive play by Joe Sneyman. Wilson weaving one way, then the other, leaving Melville players in her wake. Stolen by Pillay again. Good tackle by her. Wardrop now. Needed to play it maybe a bit earlier, but Pillay, just got the angle wrong. Wardrop and Pillay beginning to come more and more into the game in the midfield. And that's going to just go harmlessly out of play. So it will be 16 for Melville. Melville have been unbeaten in their last 5 games, and it's been not a bad record actually. They had 3 goals against and scored 19 in those 5 games. Goals have been tough to come by though today against the best defence in the competition. It was almost a superb pass. Unfortunately just skipped away from Gemma Green. So Phil Hulbert is bellowing that it's 30 seconds left and he just wants everybody to make sure they get the ball out of defence cleanly. Brought down by Wardrop. Wardrop's pass is a good one to Taylor. Taylor beat one but couldn't beat Frusher. Frusher's pass is a good one to Brooke, but Bone gets the ball off her, and Bone looking to retreat. Brooke, though, steals it back now for Vic Park. Finds the foot of Eddie Bone. And the free hit taken quickly by Wilson, intercepted, but there will be no further play in the first half because the hooter goes, and the action, which is beginning to liven up as the pitch begins to open up and the opportunities start to become more regular. It's been exciting, but we've still had no goals. As we go into half-time, it's Victoria Park 0, Melville City 0. Welcome back to the Perth Hockey Stadium. As you saw there, plenty of support for Melville on the hill behind the goal to our left. A few supporters enjoying the sunshine on the far side of the ground, and hopefully they're enjoying the action. There hasn't been too much goalmouth action, plenty of approach play, but neither team really testing either goalkeeper. The sprinklers just coming on because it's a fairly warm day today, but there's a breeze blowing, which is probably just drying out the pitch a little bit. Breeze, I must say, is a chilly one though. Probably quite nice when you're down on the pitch. Of course, we are playing these finals slightly later than we would normally because of world events and the pandemic, but it's been fantastic that we've had a season able to be played. So many places around the world have not been as fortunate. And we'd just like to thank those sponsors that have made the live stream possible this year as well. Healthway promoting the smarter than smoking message. Curtin University making tomorrow better. Just Hockey, the #1 hockey store in Australia. The Department of Local Government, Sport and Cultural Industries, CBH Group, proudly investing in our rural communities. Normandy Foods, makers of gourmet provisions and platter essentials, handcrafted here in Western Australia. And Motive Travel, independently owned for 45 years of local and international experience. And we will be bringing you all of the action from the semi-finals again next week. The final, the losers obviously of this game will go through to those games for a second chance to make it to the grand final. And that will see Victoria Park playing UWA in the men's competition. The women's we will decide today. And of course then the following week we will have both of the grand finals being played here at the Perth Hockey Stadium at Curtin University. So no goals as yet, and I should just mention neither of these teams have ever won a first grade premiership. So Melville were only promoted about 6 or 7 years ago, and Vic Park, where they lost the grand final in 2011 to UWA, and they lost in 2017 to Wasps. So they'll be hoping it's third time lucky if they can get there, and today is their best opportunity of getting straight there. But they've got half an hour to find a goal. They've dominated, you would feel, proceeding so far, but just haven't been able to take advantage and get the much-needed goal. Jocelyn Bartram making a very good save from a penalty corner. A little bit of banter going on down below. Not sure if you saw that one. Nisa Flynn just giving a little push in the back to Kayla O'Sullivan, all in good spirits, which is great to see, even though it's important games from a club perspective. Obviously great friendships amongst the various players. So the second half about to get underway. Who is going to come out on top? Of course, if we are all level at full time, we go into golden goal extra time. Melville get the second half underway. Taylor and Bone combined. Just feel Renee Taylor maybe needs to have a little bit more time on the ball for Melville if they're going to come through. She does have grand final winning experience, Renee Taylor. She went back to Brisbane, the commercial club, the Commercial Cobras. I'll tell you more about that as she comes into the circle now. It's going to break for her, but claiming it just touched her shin. She says it touched the thigh and therefore came up. But she missed out on selection for the Rio Olympic Games, went back to Brisbane and won the championship there, or premiership, with her commercial club there. So she knows what it's like to win in a grand final. Nisa Flynn, good work from her just outside the circle. Well, Harriet Collins has conceded another free hit. Now a penalty corner given away. This is the first penalty corner for Melville, so really good news for them. And real danger for Victoria Park, because Melville have scored 16 penalty corners in their 13 games. So that's a penalty corner a game, or just over, and have one of the best records from penalty corners in the Women's League this season. Now this will be a real test. Renee Taylor at the first battery, Eddie Bone at the second. Just waiting for the Vic Park players to all get behind the goal line. Alicia Power waits. They go to Renee Taylor. She doesn't get hold of it, looking to deflect it from the injector. And that was very near from Amy Clark. She tried to deflect it, but credit must go to Alicia Power, who had that near post covered. So no penalty corners converted yet by either team. Vic Park have had 3. Melville, that was their first. We talk about the goal scoring prowess as well. There have been 9 hat-tricks scored in the women's competition, and this is the 66th game. And Vic Park, believe it or not, have scored 4 of those 9 hat-tricks. Players from Victoria Park. As Wilson steals possession back for them and looks to get them on the front foot on the attack. Taylor penalised, and understandably Melville Just let the ball sit where it is. Rachel Frusher goes to the air looking for Rose Brook, but it bounces harmlessly out of play. Well, there's plenty of chatter down below, but you can feel there's a little bit of nerves around the venue. We've got a few Melville fans over to our right-hand side, and they're looking a little bit nervous now as Van der Swan, good pass from her, played forward to Gemma Green. Green gets inside the circle, looks to play it across. Flynn is there, hits the foot though of Hannah Nalder, and another penalty corner to Melville. So it's taken them till the second half to win their first and second penalty corners, and they've got two in quick succession. Can they now convert this into a goal? Making her way to the baseline is Amy Clark. Taylor again at the first battery. And Eddie Bone at the second. Well, a little bit of confusion maybe, but Renee Taylor and Wilson comes out, gets it. It's collected well again by Green. Green, did she find the foot? No, Wilson got it all stick. Feeds it out to Reed now. Reed is blocked by Bone, and it's going to come off Bone sticking over the baseline. And I'm sure, as I mentioned, Matilda Carmichael, the coach of Melville, not able to be here today with her team, as she actually, of course, moved to playing cricket and has played professionally since she gave up her hockey career, and missed out on selection for the Olympics as well. And they wouldn't release her for today. I'm sure hopefully she's watching the live stream in the dressing room if she's waiting to go into bat. Obviously not if she's in the field. Katie Clark plays it back now to Haslerham. Somerville being pressured by Pillay, but gets the pass away to Rachel Frusher. And you could see where that was aimed for, the deflection taking it away from Rose Brook. Oh, and Pillay just stumbling there meant Frusher could change direction. Nalder getting the better of Van der Swan. Van der Swan almost got it back, up in the air it goes. Free hit just outside the circle, came up off the Melville stick. So Michelle Harvey over the ball. Harvey gets it back. And was looking to try and play that off Van der Swan. Managed to do so, and another long corner. Somerville now. It's a good pass down the line to Haslerham, who looked to go in initially, but has now had her pass intercepted. Stolen back brilliantly, though, by Katie Clark. So Eddie Bone looking to drill that one through the middle. A heavy touch from Van der Swan, and then it was retrieved by Hannah Nalder. Wilson to Clark. Good retreating from Evans, put pressure on Clark and won it back for Melville and lets it run over the side so they get the ball in. Naomi Evans, who used to play for the Drifters Club in Goulburn in New South Wales. Vic Park again, happy to go deep inside their own defensive quarter as it's gone out of play on the far side, and Van der Swan running across the pitch well, that might break. Oh, there was a little bit of confusion. In fact, they're quite happy to let it run out of play. Wardrop just talking there to Sneyman. Sneyman plays it now to Evans. Evans, fast stick work. Was that into the shins of Haslerham? It was. Evans advances again. Coming forward, she gets another free hit. Oh dear, got right underneath that, and the apology straight away from Joe Sneyman. Sneyman, who started our hockey with Rockingham Redbacks. Rockingham about an hour south of Perth, for those of you who are watching outside the state of Western Australia. And Melville fans very disappointed that that attack coming from Kim Hocking was brought to an abrupt stop as she'd taken the free hit from the wrong spot. Played to the baseline, trying to now get the ball into the circle is Hocking again. It will be another free hit to Melville. Nice turn. And a penalty corner one. That was good work from Amy Clark. Amy Clark, who has come through all the junior programs at Melville. She was part of the Minky program, which is now I think called Hook into Hockey, and has spent her whole career down at the club. So as I mentioned, they tend to get a goal every game from penalty corners. Melville, they've got Bone at the first battery this time, and Erin Hall at the second. Is this their moment? Will it be third time lucky? Comes to Eddie Bone, takes a touch, plays it to the injector, just missed it, and it rolled up the stick into the body, and a quick counter-attack is on for Vic Park. Haslerham, good ball forward from her, and a great run from Brooke into the circle, and she was found by Clark across the face of goal. Brilliant save again by Bartram. That was outstanding. As Rockcliffe had just deflected it, Bartram read the deflection superbly. Evans turning. Wilson will look to try and close down Hocking, but Hocking did well, but Wilson will eventually come up with the ball. Gone past the halfway mark in this quarter. Still no goals as yet. Melville have created more opportunities thanks to penalty corners. And Bartram has been the saviour at the back for Melville. Good ball forward again. Clark almost kept that in play. I just wonder whether the nerves will start jangling as we approach the end of the quarter and we go into the final 15 minutes. Brooke has stolen that one away from Sneyman. Brooke on a run into the circle, and the free hit is going to be a 16. Brooke, I think, thought it was going to be a long corner. There's Brooke, who played for the Netherlands under 18, switched from Curtin to Vic Park this season. Rockcliffe now surging through the middle. Eddie Bone steals it back. Under a little bit of pressure out wide was Porter. Got the pass away. A miss-hit pass that time from Green. Into the circle it goes, and great defensive play in the end from Bryony Clark, because Brooke was right behind her. If she'd have missed that, you felt it would have been 1-0 to Vic Park. Rose Brooke has got 9 goals this season, 8 from penalty corners. 8 from field goals, 1 from a penalty corner. Coming forward again, Wardrop now. Pulling away from Haslerham. She managed to just dink that one onto Haslerham's foot. There's a wall of black shirts in front of Wardrop, so she self-passes, heads towards the baseline. Haslerham gets there, steals possession away. Through the legs of Wardrop it goes, and she's managed to evade the feet and gets the free hit. So, well done, Sinead Wardrop. Coming forward to take the free hit is Bryony Clark. It's into the circle she goes, but Eddie Bone now will bang it across. Pillay was at full stretch behind her to try and get something on that, but it goes harmlessly out on the far side. Melville trying to keep the ball up in Vic Park's final third as Thrasher bangs it down the side. It goes out Just by the 16-yard mark on the side of the pitch. Renee Taylor waiting for some of her teammates to get into position to receive. Wilson intercepts. Bone is appealing for a back stick. Wilson, though, continues to play, and a Vic Park attack continues to be formed. Taylor, though, intercepting that pass from Rockcliffe and then just ran out of space and over the sideline. Just under 4 minutes left in the third quarter. Well, all of the substitutes down below looking on anxiously. You can feel the tension from them. Nobody taking their eyes off the pitch. Good lesson for any young players. Always watch what's going on out on the pitch rather than sitting having a chat. And unfortunately not able to keep that in play, Jo Sneeman, as the ball went behind her. Played on quickly now by Collins. Collins manages to find Abbott, and Abbott wins a long corner. Abbott, of course, the half-sister of former Kookaburra Des Abbott, and I'm sure he's up in the Northern Territory watching. Usually tries to tune in on the live stream when she's playing. And he would have been disappointed a few weeks ago when we had internet problems and missed her goal as the signal just dropped out. Renee Taylor now being chased by Wilson, and coming across was Harvey as well. Taylor, though, managing to go between the two of them, and then as they went in a pincer movement, had to just double back. Looking to read that one is Brooke, and she's put pressure on and stolen it away from Hull. Here's Rose Brooke, into the circle she goes. A great defensive tackle from Eddie Bone. Bone just got enough on the ball just as Brooke was about to shoot. Taylor now trying to create something for Melville. Taylor surges through the middle. Taylor looking to take on Somerville. Reverse stick shot, good save. Comes across the face of goal. It's not gone in. Well, Evans did so well, and Flynn was there. Alicia Power, good save to deny Taylor. It fell to Evans, and she unselfishly squared it across the face of goal. But unfortunately, Nisa Flynn just couldn't get a touch. And Vic Park fans can breathe a sigh of relief. And both goalkeepers now have made some telling saves. It's one of those games where you feel for either of them when one of them's going to end up on the losing side at some point, because we will get an outcome today, be it through golden goal or through a shootout. Harvey determined to get on the end of that. The ball stays in play, and Harvey got to it again. Pushed out wide, though, by Bone. And Evans will get the free hit as we go into the final minute of this third quarter. Could have had a couple of goals, but there's been some good defence from both sides, and certainly some good saves from both goalkeepers. Bone put under pressure that time and managed to just get away with that one under pressure from Kayla O'Sullivan. Comes wide now to Sneeman. Van der Swan dispossessed by Brooke. Brooke setting off on an angle, drops the ball back for Wilson and looking to get the pass away. It was Taylor with the back stick, and she is going to get a green card. She's questioning the decision. Wilson has gained about a metre. Takes the free hit out wide to Somerville. Somerville trying to get that in. It came off Nisa Flynn's stick. Flynn recovers, but it hits the foot of Bone just outside the circle, and Reed has taken that a long way from where the free hit occurred. Somerville's taken it from the right spot. Good block just on the edge of the circle. Carried out of defence, and really strong defence in the end from Melville, but they're going to start the final quarter without Renee Taylor. She will be off for about 1 minute 50 seconds. As we go to the final break, it is Vic Park 0, Melville City 0. Welcome back to the Perth Hockey Stadium. We're about to head into the final quarter of this first semi-final in the Women's Premier 1 grade. It is 0-0 at the moment between Vic Park and Melville City. Two best defences in the competition, showing why they have that reputation. And Vic Park are going to start with a player advantage. Renee Taylor getting a green card with about 10 seconds left in the third quarter. So for the first couple of minutes, Melville will be a player down. I think they're just checking that they don't send out 11 players. And so that is the case. So Jade van der Swan wanting to get out there, but being told, no, you've got to wait. So Pillay gets the final quarter underway. If we're all level at the end of this 15 minutes, we go into 5 minutes each way, sudden death, golden goal. And then if it's still level, we go to the dreaded shootout. Vic Park, who was so dominant in the league, finding this a tricky fixture today. When they met in the league season, it was 4-0 to 4-1 rather to Vic Park. Goals from Amberley Abbott, Georgia Wilson and Katie Clark got 2. Eddie Bone with the lone goal for Melville. And Collins, well, you can tell she's been chomping at the bit to get back in action after she was injured. Her hamstring, I think it was a game against YMCC. And Collins penalised for not being 5 metres. She's shaking her head. And she's still carrying on with the umpire, saying that she leant in with her stick, that her body was 5 metres. That's amazing how competitive some people are. Good steal again by Brooke. Collins is inside her. Brooke will continue the run to the baseline. Then she weaves into the circle. Good intercept though. The ball taken away by Amy Clark. Good lead coming from Pillay. Unfortunately, she didn't get it under control for Melville. Fruscia gets it back, goes to Somerville and finds Brooke. Brooke now faced with Bone. Bone gets a touch and it goes into the shin of Rose Brooke, and it's a free hit to Melville. Rose Brooke certainly is a danger player. The wife of Kookaburra Matthew Swan, played for the Netherlands under-18s and is now in the Australian development squad. So knocking on the door of maybe being part of the Hockey Roos squad. Here comes Harvey. Harvey into the circle, deflected by Collins. In fact, though, it just took a touch off the stick of Tara Porter. So it will be another long corner. Van der Swan sportingly giving the ball to Wilson. Quick change, Rockcliffe and Wilson interchanging there. And it was a good idea. The pass very nearly making its way through to Hannah Nulder, who was coming along the baseline. Oh, can either of these teams break the deadlock? Bone under pressure. Brooke has stolen the ball back and Bone concedes the free hit. It's a great position for Victoria Park now. Comes across to Rockcliffe. There's a very important touch coming from Joe Sneyman. Sneyman just running through. Got a touch and made it difficult for Rockcliffe. If you compare the amount of goals scored between the two teams over the last 7 meetings, Vic Park has scored 17. Melville just 7. So it has been a fairly dominant performance by Vic Park when these two have met. Pillay on the ball now for Melville. And Collins has scored 4 of those 17 goals in the meetings, and Katie Clark 2. Otherwise, it's been individual goals from various players on both sides. Good defence in the midfield from Vic Park, but they managed to get the ball wide to Green. Green feeds it forward, and Flynn, unfortunately for Melville, just could not get it under control. Wilson. Reed, just it bobbles away from her. Well, Renee Taylor back on, and now she's penalised for the ball not being stopped on the line. And you'd have to say, in fact, Reed See players get away with that quite often. It's a bit infuriating when sometimes it's pulled up and other times it isn't. Vic Park were lucky though that Haslerham stepped on the pitch, and Reed I think was looking to come off, and then Reed, they've in fact swapped now, so they did actually have an extra player on the pitch momentarily as there was a bit of a mix-up. Rockcliffe dispossessed by Renee Taylor. Taylor looks to distribute that through the middle, but it ran too far ahead of Green. And now there's danger. Brooke on the ball. Brooke looking to take on Sneyman. Got past Sneyman. Now Bone ahead of her. Bone gets a touch, steals it away again. And Eddie Bone just one hand on the stick. Fantastic play by her. Finds Van der Swan. And a good block as well at the back from Frusher. The two captains really leading by example. And Somerville coming forward meant that Flynn had missed it. And it's a 16, although Melville, I think, thought they deserved a long corner. Somerville just eases past Van der Swan. And Renee Taylor, I don't think she was actually playing at that. I think she was quite happy to let that one run all the way through to Jocelyn Bartram. So Renee Taylor sets off, chased by Harriet Collins. The touch comes off Harvey. It'll be Melville ball just inside the Vic Park half. Sneyman didn't get the ball where she wanted it from the ball person. Harvey again comes across, but it cracks her in the shins this time. Good pass forward. Nisa Flynn runs out of space, and long corner though. Last touch was off the Vic Park stick. Eddie Bone. Into the circle it goes. Flynn's got a little bit of space. Goes to the reverse stick. Tries to pull it back. Catches her own foot though. So 16 again. And Vic Park fans can breathe a sigh of relief. Approaching the halfway stage of this final quarter. Thrown to the air. And had to play that because Katie Clark was lurking behind. And just pushed over the side because they were caught a little bit short at the back, Melville. Over the side it goes again off the stick of Sneyman. Somerville. Back to Frusher. Somerville again. Looks to run rather than play it forward. Nisa Flynn intercepts. Somerville got it back and gives it to Wilson. Lineker. Back to Frusher. So what Vic Park need is a little bit of time on the ball. And unfortunately, Somerville was thinking about what she was going to do, and the ball just dribbled off her stick over the sideline. And these are the moments where you can't afford little mistakes like that. In a semi-final, 0-0, with just under 7 minutes remaining. And good work to get ahead of the defender. Into the circle it goes, across the face of goal. Pillai's there. Up it goes, and Pillai's won a penalty corner. Wow, what a story it would have been if she'd have scored that one. But it is a penalty corner. And as I mentioned, Melville have been very good from penalty corners all season. And they have both of their hockey roos at the top of the circle. Renee Taylor at the first battery. Eddie Bone at the second. Wardrop stopping for Taylor. Porter stopping for Bone. They go to Bone. Deflected, good save again. A very good save, Alicia Power. Re-award of the penalty corner though, as it came back into one of her defenders. So once more, Amy Clark goes to the baseline. Everybody else in the same positions. Taylor at the first, Bone at the second. It goes to Bone again. Good trap, slips it now to Taylor. Taylor was looking to feed that to Pillay, but there was an obstruction inside the circle. So the variation comes to naught, and Vic Park breathe again. Somerville over the ball. Fruscia goes to her right-hand side. Wilson now pulls away to the left, and Wilson will receive. Almost stolen by Wardrop, but Rockcliffe has to be strong now. 3 players converging on her. Gets the free hit, looked to play on quickly, but again, didn't stop the ball as she looked to play on. So credit to Tracy Fowley. She's pinging all of those now, the moving ball. Reed goes back to Hasselham. Wilson pulls away from Renee Taylor. And a great pass out onto the right-hand side. Lineker banging that one into the circle, but it didn't take a deflection. Probably had a little bit more time than she realised then, Michelle Lineker. And it looks as if at the moment we are headed to extra time. Eddie Bone just got that one caught in her stick, and it didn't quite go where she was intending. Another good steal in the midfield by Wilson, but Renee Taylor read the pass well. Didn't find Rockcliffe, and Taylor sets off. Taylor going through the middle now, just thwarted by Fruscia. Fruscia has got the free hit. No complaints from Renee Taylor. Emma Reed now looks to go infield. Managed to get the pass away. Rockcliffe does well again. That's a good ball forward. Slight push in the back, but Kayla O'Sullivan, well, I was going to say keeps possession, then just loses it. Pillay now. Pillay takes a tumble, but gets the free hit. Hasselham, the player, penalised. Pushed forward. Chance now for Hocking. Hocking into the circle. Great tackle. Again, you're seeing great leadership from Rachel Fruscia. Pushed forward, and that was just about across the side, and that's why O'Sullivan played it a little bit earlier than she was intending. And unfortunately for Abbott, that decision goes against her. We're into the final 5 minutes of normal time. Down the line it goes, and is it going to go out for a 16? It is indeed. Melville would, I'm sure, have been hoping that went out near the corner flag. First time from Wilson. It's a good pass by her. Lineker is intercepted by Renee Taylor. Good skills to get past Lineker. Being chased back by Reed. Cuts infield now. Finds Van der Swan. Van der Swan and got underneath it. Not danger, and it's gone out on the sideline. So it'll be Vic Park ball right down by the corner flag. And Melville getting numbers forward. Eddie Bone just checking who's behind it. Thrown to the air. And the decision goes the way of Melville. Sneyman. Not many options forward. Now Vic Park have closed them down, and she gives the ball straight away to Harriet Collins. Collins will get the return pass and will keep it in play. That was good play by Katie Clark. Now Rose Brooke. Brooke advancing on goal. Brooke into the circle, looking to square it. Oh, no power behind the shot. Kept in play brilliantly by Tara Porter. And over the side it goes. Wilson takes it quickly, finds Brooke again. Wilson gets past one, almost got past the second. Just a touch was enough to take the ball away from it. Eddie Bone now plays it off Michelle Harvey. Off the side she goes, past Harvey, down the line. Now Van der Swan has a little bit of space to move. Goes infield of his very difficult pass, brought under control by Hocking. Hocking into the circle, takes a tumble. No foul from Fruscia, and it is going to be a free hit, which Somerville looks to take quickly. And a green card now to Van der Swan. She wasn't the 5 metres away and tried to make the tackle and broke up play. So she's got 2 minutes on the side. Means that they will be down to 10 players for all bar the remaining 45 seconds of normal time, as Brooke comes into the circle. Was that a foot? It was indeed. She fanned the foot of Renee Taylor, and Vic Park get their 4th penalty corner of the match, and believe it or not, their 1st of the second half. Well, is this the time for them to score? 2.5 minutes left on the scoreboard clock. Jocelyn Bartram is going to have to be at her very best. Eddie Bone will be running out, you can guarantee. Somerville, though, is always dangerous from penalty corners. Rachel Fruscia alongside her. Somerville has scored 4 goals from penalty corners this season. She's at the first battery. It goes to Somerville. She flicks. Good save. Bartram read it well. Went across to her left-hand side. And the crowd enjoying this. Lineker finds Reed. Reed, a little bit of space, drills it in. That was superb from Taylor. Reed, though, has stolen it brilliantly at the top of the circle. And Taylor, well, there's nowhere to go, and eventually the ball is shown. She's shouting at the umpire as Somerville sets off for an attack for Vic Park. It's going to be free hit, though, to Melville. And Eddie Bone just slowing things down. Don't forget, Melville down to 10 at the moment. Good intercept by Wilson. Wilson gets the ball back from Brooke. Looks to push it forward now to Collins. Collins got past the first person in Erin Hall and then took a tumble. She looks very, very tired. Been out for a while and has really given everything today, Harriet Collins. Well, Reed did very well to receive that pass. It was not an easy one to take under control first time. She goes off for a breather. Down the line it goes. Rose Brooke, though, is going to get in along the baseline. Looks to release the ball forward. It ricochets up in the air off the stick of Bryony Clark. Free hit to Vic Park. Final minute fast approaching. Along the baseline. And this time Eddie Bone happy to concede the long corner. Wilson waits for the ball, gets it. Comes back to Somerville. Somerville, will she go directly into the circle? She does, and Bartram just lets it run harmlessly into a goal. Van der Swan back on, so Melville are back to their full quota of players. Somerville had to watch that because Van der Swan was behind her. Over the side it goes now. It's real last chance for a win in normal time. Otherwise, we're going to golden goal extra time. Renee Taylor has got into that one. Hit it into the turf and up it came. We've got 2 balls now on the pitch. And Vic Park don't want that. So Wilson, and not taking it from the right spot. And shoulders sag because that is going to be the last play of normal time. And there is generous applause. We're headed for extra time. There will be a 5-minute interval now. And then we will be back with 5 minutes each way. And it will be golden goal. And whoever scores first will go through to the grand final. So we'll have some messages from our sponsors. But some great goalkeeping by both goalkeepers. Alicia Power keeping Victoria Park in the game. And also Jocelyn Bartram keeping Melville in the game. And as we go to the end of the game and we wait for extra time, it is Victoria Park 0, Melville City 0. Welcome back to the Perth Hockey Stadium, where we're headed into extra time in this first semi-final between Victoria Park and Melville. No goals after full time, plenty of opportunities and some really good goalkeeping by both Alicia Power and Jocelyn Bartram to keep their teams in this match. Now they're going to have to be at their very, very best, because the soon as one goal is conceded, that team will be playing in the grand final in 2 weeks' time. No mistakes, and just a few Melville supporters around us were just saying that it now comes down to mental strength. Can they get through this? It's going to be a real battle royale. The opportunities have been coming a little bit more frequently as the players have tired on what is a fairly warm day, although there is a chilly breeze which will cool them down. But when you're down there playing on the turf and giving your absolute all for your club, it can be a very tiring experience. As the players are getting their last refreshments and last bits of advice from the coaching staff, gives me a chance again to thank our sponsors, to whom we're very grateful that we can bring you the live stream. The Department of Local Government, Sport and Cultural Industries, who are pleased to be involved with Hockey WA and hockey at all levels in Western Australia. Curtin University, making tomorrow better. Healthway, promoting the smarter than smoking message. Normandy Foods, makers of gourmet provisions, pâtés, terrines, preserves and dips. And Motive Travel, specialised travel services in many areas, including corporate business travel and also leisure travel. And of course the CBH Group and Just Hockey, the #1 hockey store in Australia. Thank them for their support throughout the season and in the games to come. There is a toss of the coin happening down below us, and that will decide which ends the players are going to go, and it looks as if they're quite happy to stay as they are. I think Eddie Bone not worried about superstitions. She just said, let's just stay as we are. Well, who is going to come out on top? As I mentioned, Victoria Park were the minor premiers. Just dropped 2 games all season against Wolves and Wasps in the final game, and they had 1 draw against Victoria Park. Again, there were just 2 losses for Melville, who had a really good season. Surprised a few people. Unbeaten in the last 5 games and 5 clean sheets. So, extra time. Sudden death about to get underway now. It will be Melville to get it underway. Are we going to see a winner, or are we going to go to the dreaded shootout? Just waiting for Jocelyn Bartram to take a positioning goal. She has now. Renee Taylor, who was getting more involved in the game. Wilson, who's been very busy for Victoria Park. Penalised there was Nisa Flynn, just coming in that 5-metre spell before, 5-metre area rather, before Wilson got it under control. So it will be a 16 now. The shadows starting to lengthen over the pitch. As you can see, the main stand and the floodlights just infringing now. And the ball was a good idea forward for Naomi Evans, but it's going to be ball from the side for Vic Park. No time for mistakes now. Certainly am a fan of the golden goal. I know it's been dropped from international hockey, but just feel it's a nicer way to win a game than via a shootout. That's my personal observation. Wardrop did well into the circle. It goes deflected. Good save. Well, Power, and it was just lifted on the clearance, I think, from Emma Reid, and penalty corner goes the way of Melville. Another important save, that time from Alicia Power. As I mentioned, made the switch from Curtin across to Vic Park. Was part of the, or is part of the Australian development squad. The Thundersticks goalkeeper in Hockey 1. So Taylor at the first battery again, Bone at the second. Out it comes to Renee Taylor. Into the foot it goes again. So will be another penalty corner. 7th penalty corner for Melville in this game. Amy Clark again makes her way down to the baseline. Amy Clark, who studied civil engineering, so she should get the angles right here. Goes to Taylor again. Taylor flicks, deflected. Great first running by Carrie Somerville. Long corner now to Melville. So they've survived the danger of 2 penalty corners, but they cannot switch off Victoria Park. Eddie Bone has to self-pass as all options forward were closed down, and that was missed in the defensive line by Erin Hall. So Jocelyn Bartram puts her foot through it. That's a really good kick actually out wide to manage to find Joe Sneyman. Sneyman put under pressure. Bone helps out. Collins is putting pressure on Bone, and that goes off Harriet Collins. And Eddie Bone throws it to the air. Down the side it goes, and out of play it goes. Almost halfway through the first 5 minutes of this first period of extra time. Van der Swan did really well to block that, but then she's dispossessed again by Rachel Frusher. Frusher looking for Collins. Collins being chased all the way by Erin Hall, and over the side she went. You could almost hear a pin drop inside the stadium, and that's a mistake by Somerville. And with Naomi Evans in close attendance, it's paid. The missed trap, and Evans has now just run out of space herself, ran it over the sideline. Well, the pressure really getting to the players. Everybody knowing that 5 minutes is not too long, and they've really got to make it count, but they don't want to make mistakes. Frusher again, that was a good idea. Just trying to find the run further forward of Maddie Fennick. Haven't seen much of Fennick on the park today. Good intercept by Wilson. Managed to go to Brooke. Brooke just checks back away from Taylor. Has plenty of space now to run. Instead, she drills it into the goal. The deflection's there, just wide. Well, Harriet Collins has made a habit of scoring goals like that. And you just feel if she hadn't had that timeout, would that have gone in? Injured her hamstring. Has missed about 4 weeks, maybe 5. And just put it the wrong side of the post. It was a beautiful pass from Ruas Brooke. Pillay, good touch from her. Manages to get it to Hocking. Hocking now just losing it momentarily. Hocking still being forced, though, away from the circle. Good tackle and taken away in the end by Hannah Nalder. Renee Rockcliffe now. We're into the final minute of the first half of extra time. Wilson. Wilson evades 2. Goes over halfway. Releases the ball. And unfortunately, it rolled straight to Eddie Bone. And now it's a chance for another attack. Frusher stepping ahead of Pillay. Frusher pushing it forward, has found Brooke. Brooke has got a bit of space now. Just Eddie Bone in front of her. Looking up as she goes. Reverse stick. Bone blocks. And it's played on the ground. And back stick. Well, Melville not happy at all, feeling the ball shouldn't have been played on the ground inside the circle. Penalty corner has been given. So a 5th penalty corner for Vic Park. 17 seconds on the scoreboard clock until half-time in this first period of extra time sudden death. Renee Rockcliffe saunters down to the baseline. Rachel Frusher just telling Fennick to get out wide on the right-hand side. So we've got Somerville at the first battery, Frusher at the second. Looks like it's going to be a variation. Somerville flicks, good save initially by Bartram, and it is a very good save in the end. Collins was still debating it. She's shaking her head as she comes out of the circle and still looking at the umpire in disbelief that she was blown against. And that is half-time in the first part of extra time. They've got to turn straight around. There's no time to be talking to coaches. Well, they're coming across, but it is a straight turnaround. Vic Park know that. Melville clearly not quite so aware of the situation. The players just coming over. So the goalkeepers now just switching ends, and Jocelyn Bartram just being loaded up with all the gear for the penalty corners. Vic Park, their team manager, doing the job, which I think is Rachel Frusher's dad. So 5 minutes to go, otherwise we're headed for a shootout. So close to the deciding goal, right in the dying seconds of that first half of extra time. So we're just waiting now for Jocelyn Bartram to just dump the gear behind her goal. Then we can get things underway. A few words of encouragement to her goalkeeper from Rachel Frusher. Sip of the drink bottle for Bartram. The helmet comes down and we can get on with play. Are we going to find a winner? Stolen again by Melville. Somerville appealing. Nisa Flynn penalised, and they get on with play quickly. Rockcliffe, good pass out to the right-hand flank to Brooke. Brooke surges towards the circle, goes on the reverse stick, feeds it forward. Good save again from Bartram, and it lands on top of the goal. Well, so close. And it will be a long corner right in front of goal. It was a very good pass to pick out Rose Brooke wide on the right-hand side, who loves to run at the defence. Now it's Somerville, deflected out of play by Nisa Flynn. Harriet Collins is lurking inside the circle. That's a good block by Nisa Flynn. The free hit taken quickly. And it's another long corner conceded by Melville. Wilson was busy chatting to Rachel Frusher. Not just really a chat, tactics I'm sure. Rose Brooke now on the backhand again across the face of goal, but it was backstick. And so Melville can now breathe a sigh of relief. Melville bench far from happy, just feeling, I think, that their team have gone to sleep a little bit at the start of this second half of extra time. Van der Swan comes infield, good tackle coming in from Harvey. Van der Swan almost kept possession, stole it back off Rose Brooke, but illegally. So it will be a free hit to Vic Park. Wilson over the balls. Self passes, whether she stopped that or not is questionable, but it's okay with the umpires. Somerville now to Frusher. Out wide it goes, and over the baseline it goes, and that's a shame because it was a good build-up. There's still plenty of talk coming. I think it's out of Jocelyn Bartram, urging the players in front of her, giving them encouragement to keep going. But there's an absolute hush around the stadium. Renee Taylor was impeded there by Rose Brooke as she looked to knock the ball past her and go past her. So Eddie Bone goes to the air now. Haslaham had to make that one because Evans was behind her. She made absolutely sure. Renee Rockcliffe turns, looking to get away. Rockcliffe in a right old tussle there. Eventually the ball stolen away. Now it comes to Erin Hall. Hall feeds it forward to Van der Swan. Down the line it goes. There's nobody there, and Frusher will let it run out of play, but Flynn is coming at pace, and well, we saw Nisa Flynn score an outstanding goal against Curtin where she was about 20 metres behind the defence and managed to get on the end of a pass like that. So I'm sure everyone's seen that and knows just how dangerous she can be. Nisa Flynn, who came through the Applecross Senior High School. Over the side it goes from Harvey. We've got a minute and a half left before we go to a shootout. Van der Swan tries to get the better of Harvey. She gets a free hit, hasn't taken it from where the offence occurred, so Erin Hall will. and it's not able to be brought under control. Van der Swan helps it down the line. Rachel Frusher drills it, comes off Eddie Bone, and now it's going to be a foot race. It's going to break for Katie Clark. Clark being chased all the way by Porter, and over the baseline it goes. It will be a long corner. Ready to take that immediately is Collins. Collins plays it to Clark. We've got under a minute left. Clark is into the circle, lays it back. Played towards the goal by Reed, and it was a good save again by Bartram. Would have seen that fairly late through a crowd of players. Ball comes on to Wilson. She glances at the clock. It continues to count down. She's got Nalder to her left. Self passes. Goes off across the pitch. Now drills it on an angle. Takes a deflection, but it's out of play. And a yellow card has been given to Harriet Collins. And that is, I'm pretty sure, for trying to make a tackle, diving into the tackle inside the circle. And it's a 10-minute yellow. Now the question, of course, is whether she can take part in the shootout. I believe that she can, but we will maybe check that. And unfortunately, Renee Taylor's gone down, and that doesn't look good. She's holding a calf and in a lot of trouble as Harvey goes down. But they're running onto Renee Taylor. Oh dear, no, their ankle it is, and she is in immense trouble. And that is not good news for Paul Godoyne, as he's had a lot of injuries to his Hockey Roos squad. But we are headed to a shootout here, and that might be delayed now as the treatment comes on for Renee Taylor. Didn't see her go down behind play. But I can tell you that the final score here after full time and extra time is Victoria Park 0, Melville City 0, and we're headed to a shootout. Welcome back to the Perth Hockey Stadium. Renee Taylor is slowly now just coming off the park. Good to see that she's able to walk herself off, so it's not a broken ankle or something. It looked like it was the calf at one point, whether she just cramped up or not, I'm not sure. And then it looked as if she was getting treatment for the ankle. Well, we are still in the same semi-final, believe it or not. It's been an epic encounter as we've gone through normal time and extra time, and it is still Vic Park 0, Melville City 0. Can you believe the two teams that have scored the most goals this season, neither of them able to score, but both of them having the best defences in the women's competition all season. So maybe not a surprise after all. So now we are going to be heading to a shootout. That will be getting underway in the next couple of minutes. So make sure you don't go anywhere. There will be the next semi-final coming up after this. And I can just confirm as well the yellow card that was issued to Harriet Collins. She can take part in the shootout because that occurred in normal play, and now she is available for the shootout. So I can see down below the Hale players and the Westside Wolves players all watching on with great interest. I think they want to know which of them will be playing which team next week. Of course, one of the winners of the next game will be eliminated, but they will play the loser of this game. So just for those of you not familiar, each team nominates 5 players for the shootout, and those 5 players will take part and beat the goalkeeper from the 23-metre line, and they have 8 seconds in which to do it. And if we're still level after all have been through 5, then we will go to sudden death, and they can still using the same 5 players, but they can change the order of those players. So they're just sorting out who's who, and this is the moment you feel for the goalkeepers because it really is pressure on them. Some will say it's a no-lose situation. They can only do what they can do. But I can tell you, as a goalkeeper, it is not a pleasant situation. You don't like conceding any goals, and a shootout is certainly another area where you do not want to concede. So the rest of the players will stay on the halfway line. Just waiting to see who will go first. So Alicia Power has made her way down. Jocelyn Bartram is heading over as well. And it looks as if it may well be Rose Brooke who's going to go first for Vic Park, as she is ambled across to the 23-metre line. And the music's been turned off, and we're ready to get, hopefully, a decider in this match. The umpires are in position. They're just waiting, I think, for Jocelyn Bartram, who's just adjusting her hair down along the sign that says the home of the Perth Thundersticks. She doesn't play for the Thundersticks, though. She's happy now, getting herself in the right mental frame of mind. Rose Brooke waits on the 23 metres. Bartram, has she got any habits? A lot of goalkeepers like to touch both posts and the crossbar with their stick. Bartram doesn't. The whistle goes. Rose Brooke goes straight down the middle. Bartram comes out to the penalty spot. Brooke goes to the right. Saved by Bartram initially, but the rebound goes back to Brooke, and she scores. Well, she was lucky that the rebound came back directly to her, and then she was able to just pop the ball underneath Bartram. So now it's Alicia Power faced with the challenge from Eddie Bone. Eddie Bone goes over to the right-hand side, straightens now, looks to turn, and just pokes the ball easily past Power. So we're tied up at 1 apiece. And now Katie Clark for Vic Park. Can she keep their 100% record going? Bartram again, taking her time, a deep sigh, shrug of the shoulders as she takes her position once more behind the goal line. Clark again goes over to the right-hand side, switches then to a more central line, tries to flick it, gets it underneath Bartram, and it is Vic Park 2. Melville 1 rather. And now it's Jade van der Swan who has the pressure to keep Melville in this shootout. Van der Swan against Power. Van der Swan straight down the middle she goes off to the right-hand side. Was that stick first? And it's a penalty stroke. So Alicia Power has swung the stick and caught Van der Swan's stick before she caught the ball. And I have to say, I think that is the right call by the umpire from where we are. So that means that it will now be a penalty stroke, and another player can step forward, and that player is going to be Eddie Bone. Bone fires it home, and they are level, 2 apiece. And Van der Swan comes forward to congratulate Eddie Bone. Now it's Georgia Wilson's turn for Vic Park. Wilson, the Hockeyroos player, taking on Jocelyn Bartram, a teammate in the Hockeyroos. Wilson goes pretty much straight down the middle, weaving one way then the other. Bartram sweeps that away. Wilson's looking, and there's a discussion from the umpires. And Wilson, well, did she lose control and then Bartram swept it out of play? And a stroke has been given. Well, it can't be for playing the ball over the baseline because the goalkeeper is allowed to do that. So can only assume that there was a decision that Bartram had infringed Wilson in some way. And Bartram is continuing the conversation with the umpires. This, of course, came up at the World Cup, the Men's World Cup in India, and the goalkeeper is allowed to play the ball over the baseline. So Carrie Somerville comes forward now for the penalty stroke to keep the lead with Vic Park. And Bartram so close to saving that. She got her stick to it, but couldn't keep it out. And a sigh of relief, I think, on the face of Carrie Somerville. So now the pressure goes back on to Melville. Amy Clark comes forward. At the moment, Vic Park leading 2-1. So Amy Clark faced with Alicia Power. Clark again goes straight down the barrel, slightly off to the left, plays it into the pads. The ball's ricocheted, she's lost it, and Power clears it. So suddenly it is 3-2 in favour of Victoria Park. The ball's gone a long way. The ball girl had to go and collect that one, but now we have it back and it's Somerville's own turn. So Somerville to give Vic Park a 2-goal cushion. Goes a long way off to the left-hand side. Bartram goes with her. Somerville corrects to the right. She's missed it. And so now there is a chance for Melville to get level. Naomi Evans faced with Power. Evans goes off to the left-hand side. Power again went down in a cricket long barrier position and saves that. And this could it will decide it, because if Vic Park score now, it is game over. And Harriet Collins, the player who's been out with a hamstring injury, was the leading goal scorer for so long before she got injured, now has the chance to book Vic Park a place in the Grand Final 2020. Down the middle she goes. Bartram comes off a line. Saved by Bartram. Bartram sweeps it into Collins, and there is still a lifeline. So Renee Taylor, if she scores this, we are going into sudden death in the shootout. Is there no end to this match? So Renee Taylor against Alicia Power. Alicia Power has saved the last two. Can she make it? 3 from 3. Renee Taylor almost left the ball behind. Looks to turn her back. Power's there. Did it hit the foot of Taylor? It did indeed. And that is the end of it. Taylor's saying she was pushed and looks very upset about it. But it is Alicia Power who's got the decision. And she's claiming there's still a debate going on. So Melville, well, they'll get a second bite of the cherry next week, but it is Victoria Park, the minor premiers, who are through to the grand final. It's been an epic struggle to get there, but they finally got there, and Alicia Power has to be the heroine today. 3 saves in the shootout from her, assuring a 3-2 victory to Victoria Park in the shootout after it was 0-0 at full time and 0-0 after extra time sudden death. As the debate continues, it is Vic Park, though, who will be contesting the grand final in 2020. The question is, who will they be playing? That game coming up next. But from us here, the final score here, 0-0 at full time, and then Victoria Park 3, Melville City 2 in the shootout.